It's a typical story where the bassist kills the singer, the guitarist and the drummer find they're in love with each other. It's the story of the kid who clearly won't know what to say when the love of his life starts to calmly walk away. And it's the story of the dad who decides to chase his dream. He quits his job, he falls apart, and he loses everything. And it's the story of the kid who just wants to make a record, loves and crafts it, but nobody ever cares about it. Whoa. Hey, what's your name? Talk these for the guys you hate. We should sit in silence while we think of what to say. Hey, I don't think this is working out. Will you forget I even asked you to come over to my house? Hey, I don't think I know much, but I know I couldn't take a good punch. So if you feel like I've been talking enough, just tell me to shut up and I will probably shut the fuck up. I'm afraid of everything staying the same or worsening. So what's the point of finding calm when calm to me is unsettling? Settle down, little kid, your bones are shaking in your skin. Go and try and take a breath, though nothing more, nothing less. Typical story of the king who had it all except for citizens who didn't want his head up on a wall. It's the typical story of the wife who couldn't quit being in love with such a giant piece of shit. It's the story of the queen who could never ever think of any redeeming qualities a man could ever bring. It's the story of the dog who wanted to run away till he learned that his life is like safer inside a cage. I don't really need much, just a place to be alone, and you don't really see much. I think that I'm invisible. My mirror shows another guy. A guy doesn't do shit, he just sits and is miserable. Everybody's gotta live a life, and they didn't ask for. Why would he put me here just to die? Just to die. Hey, what's your name? Talk these for the guys you hate. We should sit in silence while we think of what to say. Hey, I don't think this is working out. Will you forget I even asked you to come over to my house? Hey, I don't think I know much, but I know I couldn't take a good punch. So if you feel like I've been talking enough, just tell me to shut up and I will probably shut the fuck up enough. Everybody's gotta live a life, and they didn't ask for. Why would he put me here just to die? Just to die. Hey, what's your name? Talk these for the guys you hate. We should sit in silence while we think of what to say. Hey, I don't think this is working out. Will you forget I even asked you to come over to my house? Hey, I don't think I know much, but I know I couldn't take a good punch. So if you feel like I've been talking enough, just tell me to shut up and I will probably shut the fuck up enough. There's smoke in the sky again, so I'm getting high again. Take another hit to the diaphragm. I never drew the diagram, how to deal with this shit, so I still and lie again. Whoa, you're my dream, you're my nightmare. Life is a bitch, she don't fight fair. Leave you right there, I was hoping that you'd notice my despair. Run away from the pain, I don't care. 'Cause first day in sight, the violence turn around and then day in fight, the silence burn it down. And I think I need some guidance. The kids don't stand a chance. No, the kids don't stand a chance. Old man trouble back again, fucking up my plans. Like oh no, I'm back to the black again, getting fucked up again. Oh no, old man trouble back again. Thought I had the upper hand. Oh no, I'm back to the black again, getting fucked up again. Oh no, this cycle is repetitive. Sex, rock and roll, sedatives. Degenerates need medicine. Spend money for the hell of it. I don't give a fuck what they selling like I'm celibate. No, and I know I'm a piece of shit. Should've learned by now. Peace needed quick or a piece of it. In school they ain't teaching it. Each of us trying to find release, but it seems a bit slow. First day in sight, the violence turn around and then
selling, I'm a sick joke. My president's a felon and I can't cope. I'm in love with the pain, so I stick poke with my kin. Folk, give me drink, smoke. Whatever you selling, I'm a sick joke. My president's a felon and I can't cope. I'm in love with the pain. We taking on the system cause it broke. Fucking up my plans like oh no, I'm back to the black again, getting fucked up again, oh no, old man trouble back again, thought I had the upper hand, oh no, I'm back to the black again, getting fucked up again, oh no.
That sucks. Oh well, there's a small glitch with OBS. Well, not with OBS actually, with loopback, but now it's better-ish, I think. That's gonna take a good 20 seconds or 30 seconds to catch up. So, in the meantime, that sucks. Yeah, there we go. Man, that's fucking bullshit. So, here, I'll give you an idea of what I'm dealing with and why that did that. Because I'm all about transparency on this show. And I figured, fuck it, might as well show you what kind of goddamn bullshit I gotta deal with. Where are we? Let's pull this up here and fade it in. So, what I was trying to do was actually have it split off into two separate audio channels. At the end of the day, what it was going to be used for was for remastering these shows so that the music and everything wasn't part of the audio track and that it was separate. So yeah, there is. I got the XLR and I got a 12-channel Pro FX mixer board. I got a pretty wild setup for being just a shit posting kind of gig that this is. But you know, oh, I forgot to turn lasers on. Is it a green day or are we kind of like happy and sad, which means green and red? I think we're kind of both, so we're going to leave it on both. Anyways, welcome to HACKER.REHAB. It is a good indicator for you that it's the weekend. I am, of course, your host, Mr. Not Dan. That's Mr. Goddamn Not Dan. Not Dan. Not Danimal. It's Mr. Not Dan. I'm just kidding. I don't take myself that seriously, but yeah, it's the weekend, man. I mean, it's Saturday, so at least, right? Or Sunday if you're on island nations, stuff like that. But in the chat, KJ definitely asked some questions about the mic setup, stuff like that. I'm all about talking about that stuff. So if you guys got other questions about my setups and how I do this stuff, feel free, because I'll share it out. Originally, I had it set like this, which you would think would work, and it actually may double up and like fuck everything up. So I'm gonna delete it just until I like am able to like mess around with that in a a non-production environment.
Feel free.
I just want to see if that doubles up real quick on my monitor machine.
Set like this, which
Yes.
I would think
I watch with you guys.
would work, and it actually made double up and like fuck everything up. So I'm gonna delete it.
No, it didn't fuck anything up. I have no idea what the hell the problem is. I gotta tell you, I reinstalled Loopback and really weird problems, man. It's really bizarre. I did get rid of like the echo delays and stuff. I lost all my VSTs, but then I found them. So the VSTs are still a go, although I didn't get a chance to set them up quite yet. I'm gonna set them up right now, and fucking let's show you how I do that. So if you're unfamiliar with the VSTs and why they're important to the show, well, they ain't so important today because I don't have gigantic air conditioners and fans and stuff blowing in the room today. However, although I should, because goddamn, it is like Smoke City here. I looked at the fucking weather on my phone this morning when I woke up, and it just said smoke, and then it listed the temperature. Yay, smoke. So okay, VSTs. If you're unfamiliar with OBS, first of all, it's a love-hate relationship, mainly hate, but they do allow VST plugins, which really just kind of goddamn rules. I use a T-Gate expander, and that's going to be here. I think it's probably this over voice gate or a vocal gate. We'll call it a vocal gate, and that should be doing it. So any background kind of hissing crap like that should now be eliminated. Let's see if I'm right. Or a vocal gate. We'll call it a vocal gate. And that should be doing it. Hell yeah, look at that. So any background I think that's good enough. If the gate's a little too much, let me know. Well, yeah, of course it was too gatey at first. I mean, kind of not. Come on, give me a fucking break here. I'm setting this up on the fly. We're gonna pull that down to like 30 or maybe even 40. I think 40 is probably good. That way it's got a lot of flexibility, but if I really just stop talking completely, you're not even going to hear anything. In fact, you probably can't even hear the laptop. That's going until I'm talking, obviously, then you can hear it. But if I shut up, generally speaking, you shouldn't be able to hear it. You can see it on the monitors, but you can't hear it. If the vocals suck, please let me know. That's the biggest ask I have for you as the amazing audience member that you are. Please, for the love of God, tell me if there's something wrong with the show, because I usually y'all are pretty good at it. And goddamn, I just said y'all. I don't like y'all, but I love you. Oh, cool. That's good. No Self. Well, shout outs to No Self, by the way. No Self, Standard Air, you guys rule. Thanks for showing up and supporting my my inability to like myself. I had a what was it? It was a really crazy delay thing. Maybe stereo delay. It was kind of a bigger. Oh no, that's not it. It was something that I was fucking with you guys with the last show. You're probably all praying that I don't find it, and I don't blame you. In fact, I only have a few of the VSTs installed at the moment. But I do have. Oh, maybe it was this guy. Oh, it's looking like it. So I need to... Why is this? Let's pull this. Okay, I need to... I don't know if this is actually on because I'm actually not monitoring it properly. So instead of monitoring it through my mixer, I'm going to monitor it through this guy. Monitor and output. Oh, good. It's going to my speakers. Let's stop that bullshit. Where are we? Monitor Pro Effects. Apply. All right, now hopefully, God, there's a delay. I hate the delays. So hopefully that does not cause delays for you guys. But for me, now I have about a 1 second delay in my head as I'm speaking, which I don't know if you've ever done that before. Like set up a microphone and then put a delay and then try and talk and like have a legitimate conversation. It's next to impossible. Is there a delay? All right, or an echo? Well, all right, so first things first, let's make sure that I didn't add one. Let's turn this off and see if that fixed it. Now, keep in mind, I'm on a 20-second delay or a 30-second delay. So if you say something in chat, this is for the new viewers, but you know, if there's a delay, no, there is a delay. So if you say something and I don't immediately respond, it's because I have a dump button, for lack of a better term. And mic delay is totally shit. Okay. Well, it's not on. That's the thing. The only thing I could think is it's... Wow, it can't even be that. I would think is this, which is goddamn terrible. Oh, okay. Domino, when you said that, I thought you were referring to right now, which I was like, fuck, I don't know, man. I'm out of ideas, man. But okay, cool. Right on. And like from what I can hear, it sounds pretty crisp. It doesn't sound like my peas are popping unless I really try to pop them. Sorry about your speakers and headphones and eardrums. Anyways, lots of really cool VSTs for me to play with. But unless you guys want to go through it right now, let's try this. Reverber, drums, what the fuck? Double vocal. Why isn't this on? Test 1, 2. Is it weird? Oh, you know what? I didn't re-enable it. You weren't having fun. There we go. You weren't having fun with the double vocal. There we go. Now. Well, if Twitch is being a cunt, I recommend you go to wasd.tv/Dano. That's wasd.tv/Dano, which I forgot to activate. So let me do that right the fuck now. I needed to grab the the episode title, and I was just about to do it, before the show cut on. So shame on me, shame on me. Let me start that episode. Apparently I can't use that name, so I gotta shorten it. Here, I'll show you what I deal with WASD. WASD, amazing platform, but there are some limitations, so please don't hesitate to ask someone else for stuff. I have to shorten it to that because, yeah, I don't have enough. 034. All right, we got it going. We got the stream live. Why, oh why, is there no on air? There we go. We're on air. All right, so WASD.TV is now on air. And that means that all of our endpoints are on air. We are solid. We're good to go. I do have to apologize to Frederick again for not pulling through and getting the chat integration finished. But in my defense, I've literally been rebuilding my machines the entire week. So, you know, it's a little hard to juggle all that garbage. That WASD.TV would be our Russian friends who don't care about things, silly things like copyrights and, you know, other crap that nobody should care about. Well, except for copyright holders, I suppose. So why that was open, I'm not sure. You guys are lucky. I cannot find. Let me see. No, that's not it. Which one say? Collect. Does not like that at all. Wow. So, dirty little secret in Dano world. I actually paid for traction. Yeah, I know. I'm lame as shit. But I did. Mainly just because it's a pretty badass product. And well, it's weird. It's actually. Oh, thank you so much, OBS. Just a magical piece of software. We'll just go ahead and send that to Apple. Let them sort it out with all of my very helpful feedback. No, it went down because OBS crashed because I minimized it. I'm an idiot, but I minimized it. Yeah. So the 20-second delay has now gone away. I'm rhyming intentionally, definitely, for sure. I don't know. Let's go through the muse. Not the news. The muse. But first, down at the bottom, you're going to see the call in phone numbers. What's up, November? Call in phone numbers for the show. It's obviously in the United States because if you didn't hear the jackass / jerk in my voice, that would be the USA. Feel free to call. That's a number. That's actually my cell phone. So, and in fact, I don't have Google Voice open right now, and I didn't plan on opening it, not unless somebody really wants to call in. So, if you do, give me a call, And if I don't immediately answer, well, I'll acknowledge it and then I'll open it. We got those texts, other texts. Somebody's texting me now. But you won't get crebbed. That's nice. All right, moving on. So, anyways, that's the call-in number if you want to call in with the old school telephones. But I mean, is it still crashed? It seems like it's definitely fine to me. I think you might. Yeah, in fact, it's on the monitor box. So you might hit refresh, no stuff. So if you don't want to call in, which is understandable. I mean, who uses telephones these days? The hell? That'd be crazy. Do it through Google Hangouts. It's free, it's available, it's all those things, which was really just two. But they're available for your use, and you can become part of the show, because after all, at the end of the day, this is your show. This is a reflection of the world in general, and that includes you. But literally, if you want to co-host with me and hang out, let's fucking do it. Call me up on Google Hangouts, and I'll patch you in. We can speak live video chat, and you'll have your own little box at the bottom of the show. I think that about covers how the Hangouts portion of the show works and how the interaction portion of the show works. There's notdan.hacker.rehab, which is well, I can show you. Notdan.hacker.rehab. It basically just gives you a list of all the different places that you can catch the stream. Chatterbait, I haven't been doing Chatterbait lately, for one reason and one reason alone. I know the next time I broadcast on Chatterbait, they're going to ban me, because they ban me pretty much every time I broadcast. And so I figure, let me save it for like a really important broadcast or some shit like that. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should just start like doing it again. But I like, it got really old having to defend. Like, I don't even remember what their issue was last time. I'll tell you this, it's never because I'm doing hacking stuff. Never. Not a single time have they fucking bitched at me because I was talking about hacking stuff. It's always like, oh, you played a video game while you were streaming. What? Yeah, okay. You got me, I did. They're weird, man. It's not the ideal platform to call or to broadcast on. I did miss a call from Subcool, but it looks like that's from last week. So, my bad on that, Subcool. Just recall, or just know, if you do call the Google Hangouts, it will list whatever you have in the Google profile that you're using. And that's kind of just a heads up that you don't want to accidentally crab yourself. People do it from time to time, and then I have to hit the dump button, which is there for your safety, in fact. If you do something by accident, like divulging personal info that you didn't want to, anything like that, you give me the heads up, and I will do my best to make sure that we get it purged and make sure it never actually broadcasts. So it's a nice little, I would say, feature that, it took me a long time to figure out how to do that. And it's worked successfully twice, I want to say. And yeah, man, it's a good one. I mean, I've fucked up and was like, oh, I need to get rid of this now. And luckily, I had my trusty dump button, and I'm going on about this dump button that literally nobody probably gives a shit about. So, let us continue. We're gonna do some news and some, talking about it, of course. But we got the Twitch there. Sorry, I gotta look at all of these manually because I didn't realize how much customization I had actually done on all my stuff previously. If anybody has any news items that you want to talk about or you want me to talk about and give my opinion on, hit it up in the chat. I'm more than willing to do it. So, headache for the last 3 Saturdays in a row. Oof, that is rough. And yeah, no self, you're definitely welcome. Oh, Snoze and Not Bear, man, I love you guys all. Like seriously, you guys are. I feel like it's a family kind of thing, and I guess maybe not family, but you know what I'm saying. It's more than just audience, in my opinion. Like this is a huge back and forth thing. So yeah, I'm glad to see all of y'all today. That's really kick ass. What K word, by the way, Miss Nose? I'm not recalling what I said. Oh, the Slack RC. Yeah, we'll talk about that one a little bit. Honestly, I'd be willing to pay 10 grand for it. And that's not a joke. I'll drop it. First of all, it's tax deductible in the right situations. But, if it nets you 500 grand, it's kind of a good deal. Just saying. I thought this was an interesting Krebs. Yeah, I did. I'll give myself some lashings. I'm gonna put on some background music. Tell me if this is the appropriate volume for background music. I think it's right? Clearly, that's not a good volume. That's better, though. I do need to move us over to SoundCloud. I'm going to do that in the background. So, this attack on Tesla, this is interesting. I don't think the FBI was terribly happy that Elon Musk disclosed that he was the victim. I'm fairly confident, in fact, they were pissed off. But what are they gonna do? Tell him, no, don't say things. They can't do that. So, he offered the information, and it turns out, yeah, Tesla was the intended target. The thing that's fascinating about this attack is that the Russians, I think it was the Russians, right? They were willing to pay $1 million for one employee to install a Trojan backdoor on their workstation. Think about that. $1 million. Gotta say, even though they thwarted this attack, they probably didn't thwart all of them. Snows, yeah, I know. I was fucking around. This saga may not be over. In fact, it may just be ramping up. It's interesting to see actual numbers though. Like for real, $1 million, especially in Nevada, like $1 million in the Bay Area. It's actually, I hate saying this because it sounds kind of pretentious. $1 million in the Bay don't get you that far. Like, it just doesn't. It's fucking crazy. It's insane to me. Like, I grew up in a place like small town America where $1 million, if you made $1 million, you were rich, you made it, you're like a superstar. $1 million in the Bay Area or Los Angeles, any of these extremely high cost of living, things like that. I mean, when you're paying $4,000 or $5,000 a month for rent, the $1 million doesn't go far, and I could easily see people turning down $1 million. But let's talk like Kansas or Middle America, any place where the cost of living is sane, like $600, $800 a month for rent. Now we're talking, and you've got a way in through greed / desperation, and that's really what a lot of times these APT groups and the advanced attackers are preying on is vulnerability in people. It also, in this specific instance, I think speaks volumes to the Tesla network infrastructure as a whole. That's amazing. The attackers were forced to pay $1 million in order to get them to install some shit. That means they didn't have any other options. None that were cheaper and easier than $1 million. That's saying something, actually. And I'll be honest. I've interviewed for Tesla, and back when I interviewed for them, they didn't have even network IDS set up. They were like in bad shape. Now, apparently that has drastically changed, and so I give them a lot of props for that. That's a badge of honor. If you're the network security people or the information security people at Tesla, that's a huge badge of honor. So it's pretty cool stuff. Let's check chat here. We got Void Main. What's up, Void Main? How are you? Somebody's saying sold. Yeah, millions. $1 million starts getting towards the range where even I start thinking, would I drop morals for $1 million? The answer is no, unless really specific conditions kind of came up. However, 10 million, 50 million, you know what I mean? And the point isn't to say that or solicit like anything. I'm making a point, which is everybody has a price, and whether you want to admit it or not, that's up to you. But the truth is, everybody does, and I think admitting that is pretty important if you're a mature organization doing security posture analysis, things like that. you got to realize that your employees and you even have a dollar sign, right? Like you're buyable. We all are. I can admit it. Who wouldn't admit it that for $1 billion you would take some malware and install it? You know what I'm saying? Like it's a matter of money and time. Now that number is obviously flexible depending on the person, the kind of the life that they lead, etc. But like we've had this conversation on IRC, and like some of my buddies are like, well, $50 is good. So, you know, it's definitely, and I actually don't think that they were joking, by the way. Yeah, it's an interesting topic. What do you guys think in chat? What's your dollar price point for just taking an executable you're not terribly sure about and executing it on your employer's network? What's your price point? What's your price point? I gotta talk. I gotta learn to talk for this. I don't know why I can't. Let's check chat. Mine wasn't a dollar sum, but a value judgment. This is from November. I took a job as a help desk tech. Ooh, that sounds fun. This was for a defense contractor is what I was going to say. I got cocks on the brain because I'm staring at the wall of cocks. If you're not familiar with the show, I do indeed have a wall of cocks. Oh my God, clocks. That was a legitimate fuck up. That tells me the time zones in the major areas. But I am like brain dead and consistently call it the wall of cocks. And so now it's a thing. But yeah, November was saying the job as a help desk tech for the defense contractor to get your foot in the door for tech. Yeah, I'm not sure what you mean by that. Security has layers. This is from KJ. I'm just gonna call you KJ, unless you want to phonetically say how I should say your name, because I can't figure it out on the fly. I got too much stuff I'm doing. But random thought, security has layers very much like an onion. I've never heard anybody make... No, I'm just kidding. Too bad when cutting into the onions, us humans start to cry. I'm stealing that. Delicious Dr. Pepper. This stream is absolutely, totally funded by Dr. Pepper. They endorse and support all of the fucked up, crazy shit that I say, and I definitely am not lying or playing a character in any sense of the word. I'm clearly joking. I wasn't able to play my disclaimer, and so I guess I have to say it manually. That sucks. In fact, I do have one disclaimer I can play. I gotta play at least one. Like, seriously, those things have gotten me out of a jam a couple times. I'm not joking about that part. I hope you all enjoyed that. I worked on that piece for quite a bit. I think it came out all right. Good Lord. Alrighty, here we go. Main intro for Twitter. Show intro disclaimer 2020 4:30 5:20. I don't know what this is, but we'll find out. All right, let me go ahead and try and play this disclaimer real quick. We'll see you after the jump. Hell yeah. What's going on? You know, I gotta say, oddly, this episode's actually going pretty damn well, all things considered. So, hell yeah, shouts to Not Dan for pulling this episode out of his ass. I love it. What happened to the get high hack shit fuck people? What's that? Domino, I don't know what you're talking about. Let me scroll because I don't have the entire thing. I was just watching. I work with the ends in mind, November said, and wouldn't normally want to get employed by the DoD or Raytheon type companies. I totally agree. But I got sold out. Oh, to my first IT job. Yeah, I feel you on that. And it happens. So, but Domino, yeah, as you're not attorney, I recommend against this phrasing. Are you talking about the vocal phrasing that I was doing or the phrasing that I played just now in the video? Because that phrasing is actually pretty badass. What's happening? On Consteel? Am I pronouncing that right? I hope so. If not, fuck. Oh, okay. All right. Well, you got me. Shouts to Domino. Anyways, yeah, so, I don't know. I guess. So Raytheon apparently has terrible security. That doesn't surprise me all that much. A lot of the defense contractor companies, with a few exceptions, have terrible security. The bigger the company, typically, the worse the security is. I mean, it's just a way the world works. When you have a huge machine that's got a lot of moving parts, even with the most competent people, it's hard to do change control windows and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So it's tough, and I've been on both sides of those types of companies. I don't know what the fuck that was supposed to mean, but you know what I'm saying. I've seen it. The Dr. Hunted spam, what's happening? Shouts. Security is hard, as Snoze points out. And Void Main said the Dr. Pepper, randomly out of the blue. Unless you guys were talking about my phrasing in that Dr. Pepper. Just so delicious. Oh, God, this tastes like fucking garbage. Ugh. This show is sponsored by Dr. Pepper. For sure. Definitely not making it up. Anyways. The Gigafactory stands to live another day. Now, when it gets to 10 million that they're offering some of the dumber employees, are we going to see the same outcome? Time will tell. I can't understand why the Russians can't just fucking buy it from the Chinese. They definitely, like, I could have sworn it was a public news story that the Chinese infiltrated Tesla and just ripped all of their IP. And this was a long time ago. So, I mean, Russia's got to get their shit together. Just call the Chinese. They got it, man. All right. There's a Trojan that's infecting, apparently, NCR. Wow. They found it in their own lab? Holy mackerel. Excuse my French, my language. Russia and China like each other, don't they? They're both, close to each other. I always thought they got along, especially when it comes to, like, fucking with the U.S. I always assumed they were douches, so that's kind of strange. But I'm also not an expert. In fact, I'm not an expert on anything, including security, chatting, speaking, living, eating, all of that stuff. I'm just not an expert. NCR Corporation has confirmed that SC Media oh my God, I can't talk today. SC Media that have found malware infected computers in an isolated non-production lab outside of the U.S., but it claims that its clients were never at risk of a secondary infection. How the fuck would they know that? I don't get that. All right, well, I gotta address the chats because I am getting blasted. Apparently, Russia hates China, and obviously, China's not digging Russia, if that's the case. I suppose, yeah, it could, by no self standards or chat, saying that China wants the Dems while Russia wants Trump. The politics are, at the end of the day, they're going to be controlling those kinds of relationships, and yeah, that makes sense now that I'm thinking about it a little more than just my Dr. Pepper thoughts. They I would think that they both want us destroyed, though. That was where my logic was, at least. Let's blow up the United States. It seems like that would have been the thing, but I guess not. Oh well. Anyways, so back to NCR. The CEO of a cybersecurity firm, Prevalian, apparently totally breached his NDA. Good luck getting clients in the future, my dude. That a Trojan had infected the popular point-of-sale ATM software developer and expressed concerns that this could potentially pose a supply chain risk to customers. God damn, do you think? You know what else? It poses a threat to voting. I'm pretty sure NCR has a horse in the race as far as our e-voting infrastructure goes. And so this to me is a little bigger than it's kind of being made out to be. This to me looks like something to the effect of like Diebold. If Diebold was being infected, which probably absolutely has happened, not 100% sure, so I'm not gonna say that. But it's definitely happened. Nah, but seriously, it would shock me, literally. It would just shock me if it hasn't happened to pretty much all of them, you know? So something to think about. It looks like they found a C2. It says witnessed more than 180 days of C2 beaconing though. That's kind of fucking crazy. That's quite a bit. So a half a year goes by. NCR finally notices via their paid Prevalian company that, oh yeah, we have a C2 calling out. Maybe we should do something about this. And then they did, I guess. Yeah, kind of scary stuff. This goes back to the thing I was saying earlier though. When you're dealing with infrastructure and companies that have been around just forever, you get to deal with risk and like bad stuff, man. I mean, it getting inside their network though, especially the non-production lab, they don't know for sure that it didn't get in production. They know that it didn't beacon to the same address potentially, but I would argue I know what people tend to do with their non-production credentials, and it's reuse them from their production credentials. And so, did somebody with domain admin in both environments potentially use their same credentials in both? Chances are pretty high. Did it happen in this case? I have no clue. Something to think about, though. Excuse my disappearance for a quick moment. I had to grab a card. Yeah, what do you guys think about this? I mean, do you think this is something to even be concerned about, or is this just something that I'm more concerned about because I used to kind of work this sector and stuff like that? And sadly, I have to wait the delay time to be able to interact with you guys. I gotta find a better way to have this dump button. I really, man, it sucks so much, but I gotta do it in order to run the kind of show I want to run. If I don't have the dump button option, I can't do it. I just can't. VK wants me to log in. I gotta tell you guys, I think I'm turning into a Russian. And like, that's not I'm not saying that in a bad way. It's just, yeah. I have like a VK account. I got lots of cool buddies from Russia. Russia's a pretty badass place, I gotta say. The only problem, I don't appreciate Putin. That's it. That's my only issue. 2546. What did I just say? Why, the phone number for the show, which is 1-424-242-2546. Fuck you for not working. Alright. I'm gonna try this one more time. Sorry about this deviation here. Getting in the way. I'm entering everything correctly. Cool. Thanks, PayPal. Fuck, I hate PayPal so much. I can't pay for something that I kind of need to pay for. And oh well. Let's move on. Are you on VK Domino? Hit me up with your account. I'm just checking over the chat right now. Diebold still makes monikered arms lockers. Interesting. They were using Snort? Really? That's crazy. Mr. Jones, what's happening? You've had quite the week or two, my dude. Shouts to you for that. If you're not familiar with our buddy Daniel Jones in chat, I'm pretty sure he probably bounced already, but if not, either way, he's been doing a pretty interesting and I would say downright awesome thing for the Tor network in general. See if I can pull it up really quick and show you what I'm talking about. Essentially, he's making it easy and accessible for every... Oh, you're going to call up, buddy? All right. Let me stop my bluff and actually have Google Hangouts open. Oh, I guess I did. Okay, word. Yeah. Just hangouts.hacker.rehab whenever you want. If you want a private one, actually, let me know. I can give you a private call in. But I will save the explanation of what he's doing for when he calls in. It's really cool stuff, though. I think it's really... Noble's maybe a little overselling it, but kick ass, man. Like I'm super stoked whenever anybody does something that's, you know, good for the general public and for people that need it. And the Tor network, man, it's in bad shape. Like, I'm not a big fan of how rough it's been treated by I guess everybody. Yeah, it's just not cool, man. Not cool. I can't let this keep distracting me. I have a service issue problem, though. It's fucking pissing me off. Well, that could be why. Let's see. All right. This is so professional. I love how professional this is. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Get better. That's what you're gonna do. I wonder if man, yeah, I don't think the some of the stuff that's going on is in reaction to me having people like follow and subscribe to the stream, and I'm trying to like make sure to give credit for it and everything, and I can't do it. It's like really bugging the shit out of me, as a matter of fact. But I'll catch you guys on the next time around, I guess. There we go. What the fuck? Oh. Let me do this. Just so we have... Holy shit. These noises. I hope you guys can't hear them. I know you can. Let's get rid of them. The most unprofessional show on the planet. There's a certain charm to it, right? I'm sure it's annoying as fuck. I will say, I had the science down pretty well last episode, and it'll be back. It just, I need another week. I shouldn't have done a show tonight, to be honest, but here we are. Shut this off. And boom.
Now go, now go, now go, go, now go.
There we go. Good balance, I think. We'll find out. Anybody in chat, by the way? What? Did you call in for real? What the fuck? Oh. I thought you were saying that you had called in. If that's too loud, by the way, just tell me. Oh, you called? Oh, you calling the phone number? Of course you are, because that's the only thing I didn't pull up. All right, 1 second. Don't you dare say you're calling the Hangouts now. I'm just kidding. You can call the Hangouts if you want. What's up, my dude? I see you. Are you on it right now? I'm afraid there's so many people in here. It's gonna call 40 people if I call. I think that's the problem. Here, let me give you the private one. What's up? I'm gonna create a private room for you. That way we don't have to worry about this. Yeah, buddy, what's up? Just 1 second. Name your group. What the fuck? Yeah, buddy. I know. Hang on. Here you go. I don't know if I can even message you this, but there. Semi-private. If the fewest amount of people could click that, I'd appreciate that. In fact, I think I can just turn it off after you join it. All right, we'll do the video call here.
Join AAA And I'm not
Yo.
even paying attention to you, honestly.
I'm gonna create a private room for you.
Yo, what's up?
Could you turn your it might not even be you. Hang on one second. Let me just make sure I got my audio working good here.
That was me.
Oh, was it you?
feedback.
Okay, word. I'm just gonna stop video from my side because frankly, I don't have the bandwidth to support that. But let me just turn off SoundCloud and then we good to go. How's it going, my man?
Good, man. It's just been a busy day. Just chilling. Me and Monica here, just hanging out. I said, well, Dan's on, so
That's
I figured.
not true. We've been out. Don't listen to him. We have
awesome.
been working our ass off for 2 days for a benefit to raise money for a police officer that has stage 4 cancer. We're
Oh, wow.
exhausted, but elated.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I
so
mean,
we've
that's
been busy.
noble of you. I appreciate that. If you don't mind, do you want to just do a quick intro? Let the people know.
Yeah, sure. Daniel, they call me Next Ops Online. I run Cypherpunk Labs, and I'm lead backend developer for HashRate. I'm a hacker, deadhead, do things.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm Monty. I'm nothing but a chef / bartender
An artist.
when I feel like it.
Yeah, man. I saw you were live on Twitter, and I was like, fuck it, I'll join in and see what's going on, man. How are you?
Yeah, hell yeah. I've been doing all right. The problem is, I just reimaged my machine. So
Oh boy.
yeah, like I thought it would be way easier because I exported all my shit from OBS, and I was like, it should be nice and easy to click import. It's not, and so I had to rebuild everything literally on the fly. That's why I was like an hour late. And so yeah, you're looking at a brand new show essentially. The only thing that's different is or that stayed the same is the keys, and I should probably roll those too, to be honest. But so
Sucks, man.
it is what it is. At this point, it's I look at it like practice.
I love you.
Right? No, I appreciate it. What's the site again?
Oh, cypherpunklabs.com.
Yeah. But how do you spell it?
Cypherpunk and then labs.
Oh, Cypher. Yeah, it was that was it. So, for those of you that are unfamiliar, Cypherpunk Labs has been doing a pretty kick-ass job of basically allowing people to purchase an exit relay node, a bridge node, which, by the way, bridge nodes are super important. Those are the nodes that people in censored countries or people that want to keep their anonymity pretty high, those let you kind of get your way into the Tor network without the traditional means. But also guard relay nodes, which, wow, how are you able to offer a guard? That's interesting.
So guards are pretty simple. I mean, quite literally, we just launch them on people's behalf. They set their Tor RC and they're able to connect to them. We've only had one person using the guard. We have 2 private relays now or 2 private bridge relays. One's in Malaysia, one's in a country I can't mention in case certain other nation state is listening. So we have some connections from definitely an oppressive regime, someone that's using it there. As far as the guards, like most of those are easy to spin up. I mean, we use templates. We have to finish some configs for our guards to become better operable. But we've been working, hand in hand with like the Tor project and some others on making sure that we, play by the rules and are doing it in such a way that individuals benefit from it. But, mainly it's just been cool to see people like actually supporting the network. And now that we have a new providers, we're about to be launching 50 new exits on 5 continents.
That's
so
amazing. I give you all the credit and props in the world, and obviously this was just only you doing it. You had no help. I'm sure. I'm joking.
Well, I have one
obviously.
web dev guy. He's a Finnish autistic.
Yeah, no, that was a stupid joke, but essentially I was just you and your team that set all this up, and I that's awesome. I mean, there's not a lot of people doing useful stuff like this. This is the first time. I was
The
just
ones
gonna
that
say this is
are
the first.
requiring KYC.
Sorry, buddy. There's a little bit of a delay, and don't worry about stepping on each other. It happens every episode. But yeah, I haven't seen anybody offer this specific type of service before, like buying your own exit and not having to worry about configuring it or anything like that. That's new, man, isn't it? I've never
Simplifying
heard of it.
privacy. I mean,
Yeah, that's a
that's
good
the
way
whole
of
goal,
putting it.
right? Like GPG is complicated as fuck. People don't use it unless they use a Mac. More Mac users use GPG because of gpgtools.org. I mean, it's integrated into the OS and it's very clean, very quick, very easy to use. So like a lot of Linux users do use GPG, but it's not native. I mean, like as far as the feel and everything like that. So what we did is we were like, Tor was having issues with, what was it, 23% of the exit nodes were bad actors, specifically relation to Bitcoin, and doing rewrites and stuff like that. So we decided that, well, this is a problem. How do we fix it? Well, there was two ways. One, we put the onus on the people who are getting containers to do it, which is a no-no because people are often terrible at configurations and management. And number two, we need to make it a push button. So that's exactly what we fucking did.
That's awesome.
With no user data or nothing.
Yeah, as far as the thing that you were referring to, there absolutely is a major why did I decide to use a hard word when I'm already having problems? There is a major proliferation of bad exits. And I caught one right in fucking red-handed.
I know you showed the MITM proxy that they were running.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? And I mean, like, it turns out. So I actually was not gonna post it because I might have been wrong, and B, I was kind of like, should I tip people's should I tip them off that we know and we collectively. And it turns out somebody from the Tor project actually said, oh yeah, we've been watching these guys. We've been pretty sure that they've been fucking around for a while. And so I'm glad it did, but man, it's fucked up.
Well, like I said, we do our own scanning on the Tor network. We have identified 110 in the United States that are dangerous. We're going to release that information to the Tor project. We've been verifying that they're running proxies. First of all, rule number one, you should never run a proxy server at all on an exit. Like, there's no reason to. An exit should literally just be an exit, a dedicated exit. That's it. If you have anything else running on there, it should be suspect. Like, everybody should be suspect of it. And that's why our containers literally only run 2 services. Well, 3. When they first launched, they have SSH open for about an hour, and then it shuts down. But basically, the only reason SSH is open is in case we get any failures or anything like that. We can log in real quick because we have a queuing system. Outside of that, we have Tor running, configured as an exit, which our exit policy is set up. You can go look at it on our GitHub, and then fail to ban. And the reason fail to ban is because there are a lot of people who try to do some malicious shit. And we just set up a simple policy for that. And realistically, we're going to remove fail to ban because we have an SE Linux policy, which is also in our GitHub, that permits Tor to run in only Tor, and that's it. Outside of that, the machine has no running services.
That sounds perfect. That sounds like the way to do it. And man, oh man, you guys are. It sounds like a lot of work went into this and a lot of kind of planning and like.
Well, my experience with Tor is that like I've been running exits and relays since 2008. So my experience with it is basically like I understand what it needs to do. I understand how to run it. Understand how to make sure that the system stays secure because you have to, right? Same thing with a hidden service. That's why we're getting ready to launch the trustless hidden services. And basically, you know, the goal is to simplify it, right? And once we started telling people like, pay for an exit, how do you use it? You just modify your Tor RC to use it. And they're like, oh, this is easy, and I can verify this going through that exit. I'm like, yeah, and that's it. The problem has always been that there is a large number of bad exits. And so when you have nation states and things like that who are running bad exits to catch people doing maybe not even bad things, just things that, you know, maybe, you know, they're logging into a Facebook account or, you know, because a lot of people do use Tor for social media and stuff like that for protection of their anonymity of location. And what happens is these people have no idea how dangerous it is because, you know, there are stalkers and things like that who are also doing traffic manipulations. So, you know, you also have to be careful about the circuits and things like that. So our biggest goal has been making sure network separations and route separations and things like that. And, you know, when you launch through us, basically, it just drops it out there, right? And you can go to the metrics page and look at it, and over a few days, just like the normal life cycle, you'll see it slowly start to get more bandwidth, get validated, all that stuff, right? And the biggest question we've had is like, how are we able to do it without user data? Because a lot of even hidden service offerings for exit relays, they literally ask for like credit cards or Bitcoin addresses with an email and confirmations and stuff. But realistically, if you can have someone audit, which by the way, we're about to have a number of our stuff audited this week for, you know, posterity and, you know, from third parties, people who are not associates of ours and things like that, so that, you know, we have people who don't give a shit about the success or not tell people, you know, hey, this works or not, you know. And we're getting pen tested now. At least 6 of our nodes are being actively pen tested against. And we're doing that because, not because we have to, but because we want to, and the transparency of what we do. I mean, our goal is to simplify privacy. So if, you know, you want to launch a hidden service, you know, you'll be able to use our flow for it. We don't know you. You'll be able to have access to do whatever you want. It comes pre-configured. You can change everything. You have a shell, root, everything.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and literally what that does is like if you want to just do a simple site or like a simple lamp stack, we have pre-configured for you. If you want to do your own thing, the hidden service is configured and ready to go. You just turn on the actual Tor itself and you're ready to go. You know, system CTL start Tor.service and you're ready to go.
It's excellent.
And, excellent. Yeah, well, the thing is most people view it as like it's complex, but you know, just like anything else, if you simplify it, people will use it. And I mean, we plan to do that with a lot of stuff. So,
that's
you
good.
know, like today, we got asked for a bunch of Monero peers.
Oh, wow.
So we're going to offer those. There's going to be a push to the site in the morning and stuff. And we're working on our order processing with sub-addressing with XMarks. We found a bug, which literally just made a miss an order. And then I am updating the code for the backend server or the backend service provider stuff, which will be open source on Monday or Tuesday, depending on whenever I get some stuff's cleaned up, because right now it's definitely hacky. So trying to make it look a little more like a professional wrote it. Sure. Rust is a beautiful language, but it's shit to do certain things with.
Absolutely. Hey, one quick thing before I forget. Who was the other? If she wants to be, you know, on listed or whatever, but I didn't catch who was on with you.
Oh, Monica, my better half is Pip Pavline on Twitter.
Okay. Is she? Does she have a Twitter that we can put in chat or?
Yeah, sure. I'll put it on the chat right now.
All right, yeah, right on. So if you didn't catch who we're talking with, we're talking with Daniel and Monica. What's that?
So careful what you ask for. She's pretty based.
That's awesome. I will not regret it. I promise you that, because you guys rule. Like you're doing some really cool stuff. And the other thing that I noticed is the Samurai Dojo node, and we haven't really talked much about that yet. But it's really weird how the timing worked with Samurai and Whirlpool and all that, and you and I, because you and I, we've had some back and forth on Twitter and whatnot, and it turned out almost literally, I think, the same day that I started using Samurai and Whirlpool. You had mentioned, something about it, and it turns out that now you're offering literally a back end server deployment
so
droplet.
So
you want to talk
Dojo
about it a little?
Yeah, sure. So Samurai and Samurai Wallet is friends of mine. We both all agree, like their entire company and us, on the same level of simplify privacy, right? I mean, if you've ever used Whirlpool, you know how simple it is. If you haven't, there was an episode of Based with Samurai, not this past Thursday, but the Thursday before. So I think it's
very just do like an ELI 5 real quick. What is Whirlpool and what is Samurai?
All right, so Samurai Wallet is a wallet for Android, and it is a Bitcoin wallet that's focused on privacy first. So
it does mixing, right?
Yeah, so Whirlpool is their mixer, and basically what that does is that you're essentially added to a pool of like however much Bitcoin you want to put in, like a 10th or 100th or 5/10ths, whatever pool that you decide to. And basically what it does is it mixes UTXOs. Now, the reason you do that is so that there's no origin to destination, right? And what this allows is that if there are 500 people who have the same UTXO of a 10th of a Bitcoin, right, and they're being mixed and shuffled around, and then whenever you basically are providing liquidity for that, and then whenever you decide to spend or post mix it, that one UTXO is selected randomly out of the entropic set to be sent out. Mm-hmm. And then that way you break deterministic links of the sats at the moment they enter the Whirlpool. So when they go in, you break the link. Now, the history of those sats are still there, but the history of the UTXO going out is lost because they don't know where those sats originated from. So whereas Wasabi was trying to do some weird coin join stuff, which, by the way, if you're not familiar, OXT Research, which is the research arm of Samurai, they have a wonderful like tool to actually go and look at transaction data to like peel back.
Yeah, right.
Origin and stuff. So I had Ergo on from the OXT Research on based on episode, what was it, 1.3. And we did a live demo walkthrough. He peeled back a bunch of transactions from Wasabi. We looked at Whirlpool transactions and how you couldn't peel them back and things like that. And
I didn't get to that part of the episode. I do recall watching a good portion of it. Something came up and distracted me. But essentially, if you're not really familiar with what mixing and Bitcoin shuffling and all that stuff has to do and how it works, it really is just it boils down to creating at minimum plausible deniability between the initial transaction. Let's say you buy the Bitcoin on Coinbase or some garbage log to hell service like that, and get it into a wallet or a state of 20 wallets or however you want to do it that is not directly connectable, and that includes through dollar amounts. I mean, one of the easiest ways to create a case in courts is to say, look, Your Honor, $100 left the wallet. It came out the other end of this known mixer, $100, and we believe that's the same person. There's ways to mitigate that now, and I think Samurai and Whirlpool is doing a good job of that. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Wasabi, which is it's kind of a competitor. It's a piece of software that you install on your machine. It requires a certain dollar amount, though, like a minimum dollar amount of 0.12 Bitcoin, some crap like that. To me, that's a risk, isn't it?
Yeah. So Wasabi is vulnerable. Actually, matter of fact, this past week, it's funny you bring that up.
Causes diarrhea.
Sorry, she's making fun of the Wasabi name.
Because nice, I like that.
So basically, Wasabi has a vulnerability, so that you can create. It is great for sushi, but you can create deterministic linking of transactions, and so Samurai published it. Wasabi's response was, "It's blackmail," even though they didn't publish it publicly first. So keep in mind, they went through proper disclosure and said, "Hey, we found this. You should be aware of it." Wasabi's response was they accused the Samurai dev team of blackmail and all this other stuff. So then they went public with it, and then Wasabi still denied it. So then now Samurai has released a client that will allow you to peel back transactions on Wasabi.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah, there was a whole lot of drama this week on that.
That's funny. I didn't see any of that. What's it called, real quick? I've been actually literally trying to Google some of this stuff in the background, but I haven't been able to yet.
Matter of fact, let me pull it up real quick. It's on their GitHub. 1 second.
I got fucking scammed earlier on a mixer. I gotta stop.
Matter of fact, everything for Samurai is always on their GitHub. Let me pull it up real quick.
Oh, on the GitHub? Okay. That's not a bad idea. So let's do that. Samurai GitHub.
So actually go to their website. I think they switched it. So where is the code? 1 second.
Yeah, the website's a little bit rough to
yeah, well, name one good cypherpunk related site that's worth a shit. It doesn't. Yeah, come on. There are certain things that we compromise on. Am I right?
Hey, it's all good for me. It's just for a show point of view, it's a problem. For everything else, you can find it eventually. You just got to use your eyeballs. But I'm sitting here trying to look for the most obvious thing, and I'm being lazy. Really is what I'm being.
So actually, I forget that's right. Samurai is not. They don't use GitHub. They use GitLab. Sorry, I'm
okay.
Yeah.
So who's running this then? The GitHub.
Who's running the what? The GitHub, I think, is still theirs. They just don't use it anymore. They switched to GitLab because it made sense. So here, I can actually just post the link in the chat real quick. And there you'll find the Ronin Dojo and all that kind of stuff that's useful for everything.
Okay, hell yeah. Somebody's saying they do Sentinel-1. Oh yeah.
Yep, so they do.
Wait, what? Sentinel-1? What is that? Isn't that
watching software?
What is it?
So watch only Bitcoin wallet.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and so basically, if you want to know what Dojo is nothing more than the backing service that actually powers their servers for Samurai. So when you use Samurai without Dojo configuration, you're using their wallet or you're using their endpoints, which can open up an exposure to an XPub for your public or for your private key. And so they encourage people to run Dojo, right? So Dojo, you set up, at home, you may set up a dynamic DNS or a DNS endpoint and utilize that. So one of the things is that you need a full node, meaning you need a full Bitcoin blockchain, and you need a processing peer, meaning you have to run Bitcoin Core. And then so basically what happens there is that in your Samurai configuration, you can actually point to your own Dojo. So you don't have to rely on their SPV and all that stuff. Instead, you actually point to their dojo or your dojo and you do it all yourself. So you truly can say from end to end, you control it.
Yeah.
And so that's why, as we are associates and things like that, in the sense of being friends and big promoters of privacy. Once we launched Cypherpunk Labs, they were kind of like, hey, you know what? Our community might actually benefit from the fact of having, publicly available endpoints and things like that are hosted outside of being on their home, things like that. And if you can make a click button, with a simple setup script that they can run with the shell, then like that would be great. And so like that's what we've done. And we're working with other teams as well for other projects, but that was kind of the goal of us running Dojo, was to be able to simplify the user taking full end to end. And since it works, like as we were providing the trustless containers, it just made sense to add it. And we're testing right now because we have no databases. Our biggest holdup is that what happens if user goes through the buy flow and the token, which is a one-time retrieval token, is lost because of a DDoS attack or something like that, and it knocks the host offline or whatnot. Mm-hmm. So yeah, because we have to worry about that because we don't keep any data persistence at all. There's no data. And it's important because there's a fine line of liability. Like I said, we operate like a vending machine, right? You pay, you get, that's it. Our relationship's kind of over. We can't provide you support. We can't prove who you are. We don't want to, because at that point, we then have to keep data about you. And so Samurai kind of feels the same way we do about it, which is if we can make it a push button and simplify it, and then the user can do whatever they need to, then ultimately everybody wins, right? There are costs with simplification, right? But if you can do it at such a rate that, we're not making very much profit at all at anything, but we're doing it at a marginal set so that quite literally people are able to utilize these tools. And as more people use them, the scaling of it will only increase, the importance of privacy centric stuff, because Dojo also requires Tor, and it requires a relay. And so basically, because Dojo would operate as a relay and your own Dojo, the Tor network benefits as well, right? So if you think about it, the more relays, the more exits, the more bridges, Tor becomes better, more fast, and more robust. Yeah. And so at a point, if we scale what we're doing and scaling with these other privacy-centric tools and things like that, literally no longer will it be, man, I do not want to use Tor to look at this site because it's going to take me 4 minutes to look at it or to get it to load. Now it becomes whether or not you just choose to click the onion or not. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, a lot of people, they kind of shit on Tor and they're like, oh, Tor is insecure, blah, blah, blah. I'm guilty of it myself, for fuck's sake, right? But at the end of the day, it's actually super important. And, it's certainly nothing that you should rely 100% on. I would never recommend anybody
rely on any piece of software 100%, man. There's no silver bullet. Yeah.
And so layering becomes the important piece to it. But if you don't have strong infrastructure in any of those places, you end up with bottlenecks and you end up with garbage throughput and all that. And so anything that's going to help the Tor network, even just by proxy, is great in my opinion. And all this stuff is what we need. And we need people that are doing it, that are not doing it for nefarious reasons and reasons that are to create honeypots and create traps, right? I mean, that's what half of the fucking stuff is these days, are either traps by law enforcement, traps by black hats that have decided to mess with their own people. Whatever the case may be, the proliferation of bad Tor things like bridges and exits is not a great thing. And so the only way to fight that is to flood the network with good. And thanks again for doing that, because it's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we've been called a honeypot, and I was like, look, there's only one problem with the theory of us being a honeypot. I was like, we have no data, And quite literally, because there's no way for us to correlate your purchase in any way, shape, or form, because a lot of stuff goes into a queue, and we try to process multiple things at once to prevent and to allow for more obfuscation as to what's being done. And it helps because if, say, for example, one order comes in on a BTC order, which, by the way, we've gotten a large amount of Bitcoiners supporting us. And what happens is that you could technically tie, because of our wallets being transparent, to be legal for not collecting user data and allowing the compromise, like, because we don't collect data on you, we allow you to be, we are transparent for you to know us so that you can see what we're doing, and we don't hide anything because there's no reason to. Even like with our PayPal purchases, we posted like how we handled that data, because we only get whether or not there's an order, the type, and duration and region. That's it. We don't know who sent it or anything, and all of that's API controlled. We don't actually have access to the console. For PayPal, we created a burner 2FA and then destroyed it because we had no reason to do anything. So we got about 60 days, and then we'll have to reset that, and PayPal is going to be bitching at us, but whatever, we have to accept it for. Yeah. But you see, that way we had guarantee deniability of all of that. You see what I mean? That way we don't know, we don't care, we don't want to know, and that's important. It's important to our users and important to us. It's
sad that it comes to this, right? Like when we come to extreme privacy, I guess that's a way of putting it, is extreme privacy. But truly, if you want to be actually anonymous and actually have your privacy, there is an incredible amount of work that you need to do, usually, in order to accomplish that. And having to go through means like what you're describing is ridiculous. And I think the other thing that really sucks about it is you can't be caught saying the wrong words once, which is shitty, because personally, I like joking around about stuff and saying stupid things that obviously I would never do. But
we both, me and Monica, do that a lot.
Yeah,
all the time.
but you have to be really careful, right? Because if you say the wrong thing publicly or even semi-publicly to the wrong person, then it becomes conspiracy charges, and you can easily get a case built on somebody for saying the wrong fucking words, and that's a terrible state of affairs, in my opinion. But
oh my god, didn't I just tell you that like a couple weeks ago when I said to watch your verbiage, it
Yes.
can get you in trouble?
Literally, she told me that as we were setting this up. So with the lawyers, they were like, be careful on your verbiage. I mean, matter of fact, because we accept Monero now, right? Like, our lawyers even more like, be fucking careful with what you say.
Yes.
Do not say anything. Do not
even ingest.
Yeah, seriously. That's the problem, Monica. You can't even ingest, say, like.
I told you, we were in the car when he was saying it in jest as a laugh, haha, kind of crazy scenario. And I was like, LOL with him, but I was like, babe, seriously? Be careful who you use that verbiage with. That could come back and bite you. I would never do that, but
it's too bad. And I mean, like, I treat my conversations, even in like my car and house, like they're bugged at this point, which sucks.
Careful. Exactly. You have to be.
Yeah, you gotta be careful. But it's awesome to hear that you guys are on top of it. Like that gives me a lot of hope that this continues to grow and continue to be like one of the best, because you guys are off to a great start so far, I gotta say.
We're the first KYC NYC company we install for, which is know your company, not your customer.
Hey, by the way, I have no understanding about any of this. I just support him.
All right, so
the other day was our
just
first
to sing
trip on
yourself
tour,
already. I get it.
He explored tour with me, and I knew about it. I just didn't know about it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I hear you.
Deliver, if you will.
Wink, wink. I get you.
I showed her fucking Empire before it got shut down.
You know, I was actually gonna go and I was gonna do an episode where I sign up for an account and just go through Empire and a couple other darknet markets, but I've rethought that episode idea now.
Very smart decision.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, as long as I don't buy anything or do anything, is it really that much of a problem? I don't know. I'm gonna have to talk to my lawyer. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Like you,
I like him.
Like you always say, Dan, shut up, and get a lawyer. Lawyer up, shut up, or whatever.
Shut the fuck up and get a lawyer.
Yeah.
I'm wearing the t-shirt.
I mean, but you got to be that way, you know. Like, I mean, even like Sega Inc. got shut down, like in anonymous mailing services and stuff, and so like we're actually about to launch a ClearNet Tor friendly as well Tor mailing service that is distributed, where you have to find a client to be able to communicate.
Wait, what's this now?
We're working on launching a service called Smoke Signal.
Wow. And this is through Cypherpunk?
Yeah. So what it does is it's a client you will download. It's completely open source, and it allows you to have a ClearNet emailing as well as Tor-based emailing. And you have to run the client. There's no server. So if either side is not online, you won't receive the message. And it's important because it forces GPG on setup and forces you to decide on who gets added to your key ring. And we're supporting multiple key rings, which you control. You can add, remove, whatever, change a public key, that kind of stuff. And basically, it just simplifies it through a very basic UI. And the goal is to give people the option to understand that they can connect to ClearNet mailing services if they want to, with like, IMAP or whatever bullshit somebody wants to do. But it will force them to use GPG. And if they want to use a Tor, hidden services email, they can also do that too. But the hidden service email is distributed. And the reason we're calling it Smoke Signal is because literally you can change your key rings at any time. So say, for example, you were communicating with someone on a DNM, or you were communicating with someone running a service. Say, for example, you're getting buying some handmade gift card or handmade cards. And by that I mean cards, I mean like greeting cards, because literally we have a demo. Well, we call it a DNM. Is someone has a handmade card site that basically just says like happy birthday or something you can buy. Okay. And it's on a hidden service, but it's actually just our test container. And what it does is basically we found that it was problematic. So what happens with someone who may have their OPSEC compromised? And so what we've done is we've determined ways of changing key rings, that kind of stuff. The reason we call it Smoke Signal is because, like a smoke signal, like you would see like with ancient Indian tribes, things like that, only the person who was sending the message and the person intended to receive it would know what was being done. So that's kind of where the basis of it was. And the goal of that is to, again, make privacy much more simplified and easier for people to understand and comprehend and use. Because if you make it Crayola, everybody will use it. If you make it complicated, nobody will use it.
That's really, at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to, is the Crayola concept. I like that, by the way. That's a good term. But making it as simple as possible is the name of the game. The reason Bitcoin was starting to at least take off, and some could argue it's still doing quite well, but it became easier and easier to use. And why Monero is being held back, I have my own opinions on, but I think Monero is kind of difficult to use still. Although their online wallet's not that bad.
Well, the wallet itself is easy to use. The problem is the reason why Monero is complicated is unlike Bitcoin, right? You don't have to worry about like sub addresses with Bitcoin. You create them into the Qt app and It works just fine on any platform. It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
With Monero, what you run into is forward secrecy, right? So like there are laws with forward secrecy you have to be mindful of too, in certain jurisdictional gains and things like that. So view keys become important, and to do view keys properly, which by the way we're working with Monero devs right now to make sure that our view keys and everything are proper, because like I said, we found an issue with sub-addressing, and we want transparency so that people can see, what we're getting in orders and things like that. Is also, we have to do that for compliance in the sense of accepting it as financial,
Really?
we're a business.
Wow.
So
I had no idea they required stuff like that for accepting crypto. That's amazing.
Well, you don't necessarily have to. You can use a third party. The thing is, when you use a third party, there are KYC elements. Like you got to get emails, you got to get certain things. We didn't want to do that.
Yeah,
so for us to take the onus on ourselves, we have to abide by certain things and how we cash out, the time that we cash out, how we're doing all of that kind of thing. Like all of that is documented on our site as well, or on the GitHub anyway.
I was gonna say, yeah, I didn't actually see that on the site, but the GitHub I keep forgetting to go to. Let me try and get there.
GitHub.com, Cypherpunk Labs. There's a lot of stuff that's still being added. Like as we just recently added XMR on, what was it, Thursday? We're still finalizing the processes on how we do cash out, if we do cash out, that kind of thing. Because we're a business, we actually don't keep any crypto for very long. Now Bitcoin, we will be able to, because we have a provider who is accepting Bitcoin for bulletproof hosting. Yes, I said bulletproof.
That's all right. I think bulletproof hosting is a totally viable and reasonable thing to say. Real quick, just so I can get it up on the screen. Cypherpunk dot GitHub.
Well, here,
if you could link it, that'd be great. And you're linking it in the stream chat, right? I can't check Twitter DMs when I'm broadcasting. It's just too much.
I am not looking at the stream chat right now. I'm just talking to you, sitting here having a cigarette while she's trolling on Twitter and with this, and we got some murder porn in the background. We're just kind of hanging out.
Nice. Just try and tell me what it is one more time then.
So github.com/Cypherpunk Labs.
Okay. Let's get that up, because it definitely, I haven't gotten a chance to check it out yet. Cypherpunk Labs. There we go. Got that awesome little logo. Who made your logo, by the way? It's a nice logo, and you've gotten some compliments in the chat.
So our the web dev, he's starting to learn some of the back-end logic stuff, but he wanted a mascot, and he ran this little contest, and on, I forgot what site now, but it was up for a few days, and then he got some really weird furry looking stuff, and then some they them kind of thing. Like, I don't mean to shit on anyone that identifies as that, but just some weird fucking stuff what's coming in.
I don't think that's a problem at all. I mean, it's if you can't laugh at yourself for being identifying as a cartoon, if you can't laugh at yourself for identifying as a person, if you can't laugh at yourself, period, why the fuck are you listening to this show?
Yeah, exactly.
This is like not a good place for people that don't have a sense of humor, because you're gonna find yourself getting angry.
Yeah, but basically, I mean, we agree with that. Like, the thing was, though, we ran this contest. He's this guy from overseas somewhere. I don't know all the details of who the artist is yet. Basically, he is now setting up a Twitter so that we can give him some props, because he done a number of cool things with the character that you'll start to see as we release some documents and stuff. and we just thought it was important to have a mascot, but he wanted a raccoon because of, you know, like the kind of mysterious, stealthy, like, you know, all of these kind of elements that make sense where you start talking about privacy, it kind of ties in, but it's also kind of cute and approachable.
It is, yeah. Like I said, you gotten a few compliments already in the Twitch chat, and I couldn't agree more. I think it's awesome. Everything just seems to kind of be coming together for you really quickly, and I couldn't be happier for you, honestly.
Well, I appreciate it. I mean, like I said, we've put in a lot of work on making things, but then, you know, like, again, most people think that we've been around for a long time. Like, literally, this company is 15 days old.
I know, that's the fucking crazy part about it. And like, I gotta assume that you put some more effort into it before launching, but I'm almost getting the feeling now that maybe not so much. You've actually
literally. So if you want the story, I can give it to you. It takes 30 seconds. So 2 weeks ago on a Friday, we launched. That Thursday, or that actually it was that Wednesday, I was approached with how do we address the Tor exit percentage issue, and then Nix Ops, was an homage to my origin as a Unix admin, Unix systems engineer. Even later on, doing development work and doing some of the DevOps stuff was, well, in DevOps, we can do a lot of things simple, and the goal is consistency and reproducible processing, right? Like how do you make something consistent, reproducible, check-in code and things happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I took that and I just said, well, problem is with Tor, most people aren't abiding by this. So that Wednesday, I kind of fucked off around on the idea, thought about it. I had already had the company, the filings and stuff for last year, because I was originally going to a media company called Cypherpunk Labs, and it was just dormant. It just sat there, and I had the domains, I had the .com and the .org, and the web dev guy was like, well, why we should just do something together and fix this problem. And I was like, you know what, you build a shitty site that will work on anything, and I'll make magic happen. And that's literally what we did. So that Thursday we hacked through it. Friday, the next day, I did a stream at like 8 p.m. that night. We launched with just PayPal support, got our first exit up, and then we added Bitcoin like 2 days later, and then we started telling people about it, and people started latching on and seeing it, verifying what was going on, and that's it. It's just been going on ever since. I mean, like right now we are backlogged on orders as we've made a bunch of changes in the back end.
Mm-hmm.
By backlog, we have like 2 orders pending. But the reason why they haven't been processed yet is because we're adding in the total of now having 6 providers, one of which is one of the largest infrastructure providers in the world, who is notoriously anti-Tor. And I'm not going to say the name because we're under an NDA on that, but they wanted to do this pilot program, and we were kind of selected from it because of my reps and people who knew me. Saw us gaining all this traction and said, you know what, we're going to give you a shot, and that's what we're doing. And so tomorrow you'll start seeing a bunch of new regions, new providers, not just OVH, but you'll see stuff in Japan, you'll see stuff in South America, you'll see stuff in Africa, you'll start seeing a lot more exits come up as we put up our 50 to be distributed over 5 continents.
It's too cool. And
we're excited.
I would. It truly is amazing to me how quickly things have progressed. My God, I really can't talk. I think this might be a problem for being a host. I don't know. Maybe. Anyways.
Maybe we need to smoke some weed, man.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, that and other things. Smoke some crack, maybe. Just kidding, kids and Twitch moderators. I don't condone drugs in any sense of the fashion. Blah 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 blah. Disclaimer.
Oh, well, I do.
Nice.
But just also some history, that would help understand. I have started, companies that with people where we were drinking in Atherton, California, sitting at a house party going, well, there's an idea, turn around and build these things out in 3 months and make something that people are using. And so like I come from startups and large enterprise companies, and my history is well versed into this, but like it's software, so like I treat it just like that, like, right, like how do I make this that like anybody can use it? And one of the biggest things that people get mad at, the only thing that people really got mad at us about is the PayPal thing, right?
Yeah.
But I will say this much. So for us, like Cypherpunk Labs, to not be liable for your data, for us to accept any form of online payment, we would have to have a database with direct billing, and that would thus make us a target for hackers. And that was also part of our OPSEC and our threat model, was that we didn't want to be a target. So how do you not be a target? By not having any of it, but the onus back on PayPal. We don't even have cookies on our webpage, by the way, if you didn't notice. Like
no,
zero.
I didn't. But
like there's nothing. There's no tracking, no nothing. Hell, our engine.
Yeah, sorry to cut you off. I was actually the one that. So for people that are not familiar with my DMs, I don't know what the fuck I'm trying to say, but like I was asking him privately. I'm like, hey, can we do like private or changeable subdomains or configurable subdomains? Because god damn it, I want notdan.cypherpunklabs.com or whatever. And I think it was a reasonable answer to not necessarily offer that, just because it first of all puts you in a bad place of having to verify, and it doesn't scale. But it does come down to OPSEC and protecting people from themselves. So shouts to you for that.
Yeah, I mean, you brought up the best point, which was the one subdomain you had told me in the DM, and I was like, yeah, we can't do that. But however, say for example, you decided that you did want a subdomain. What we have determined would be something is, if you wanted to do a subdomain, we could have it where, and we have an exclusion list that we've been working on with a filter. And what we're thinking, and we're, again, is tossing this idea around. If you wanted to put a subdomain, like your own custom subdomain, on an exit, like you couldn't know which one was yours, right? There's no way to know that it was your purchase or not. But if you wanted to put a custom, we were thinking it where like you could toss a couple of bucks and worth of BTC or whatever, and then like we would set a custom.
Yeah.
Or not even a couple of bucks, maybe even like a couple of sats, just to make it where it could be done, but it would have to fall under strict guidelines that we would be listing on the kind of prototype that we're thinking about. But
cool. That's good to hear.
I think like one of the things is like some of the custom containers that we've been asked to build, not just like Not Dojo, but other things from other companies, because now apparently companies want us to do work for them, which is odd. But we've literally been reached out to like, hey, can you make it a button for our service? And we're like, sure. I mean, and so what people want is just the ability to put like, a very simple subdomain for things, and kind of like how we use the anon-exit or tor-exit, depending on what version of the backend we were running at the time, because the original ones were tor-exit -number. When we upgraded to version 1.1 or version 0.1.1, we switched to anon-exit because we just decided that it would probably be better to use that naming convention, specifically because we were getting a lot of BTC orders. And so we're looking at adding it as more of a vanity thing and not something to hide as a correlation.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely comes down to vanity, right? But
but you're not the only one to ask for that. I mean, we've had some people literally offer us significant. Like they're like, we'll give you $100 right now if you
Wow.
can just let us name one subdomain. And we were like, what? And they're like, no, seriously, we'll send $100 in PayPal right now, or $100 worth of BTC to allow for a subdomain to be associated a custom subdomain.
What the hell?
And so, yeah, people
That's-
really want that.
That's amazing. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, buddy. I ain't offering $100.
Yeah, I would. No, dude, we were talking about like making it $5, right? Like $5, you can name a subdomain exit, kind of thing, or dollar, because it literally is just an API call for us. But the problem is correlation of launching of an exit to when we generate the subdomain. You know what I mean? Like we literally are just auto generating numerical, alphanumerical thing there, right, for the string, and the thing is you aren't the only one, but also like because people are wanting to literally have this kind of feature for like their custom containers and stuff like that. Like we've been just toying around with the idea of allowing people to do it, maybe not even for financial, but also just maybe see what happens as a way to see maybe more people are not being dumbasses by putting things that could get you reported for terroristic threats. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And so to that end, maybe, well, I don't know. I guess we're spitballing a production ideas at this point, but I was just going to say maybe it might be a good idea to just maybe not tweet those out, right? And then you don't have to worry about it.
So that was the other thing. We were literally talking about that, and because then we have deniability, right? Because then we don't know what the user did.
Yeah.
And if we're asked to change it from our DNS providers, then we just change the subdomain and, just make a note in our Canary page, which we're about to turn on tomorrow, as we had to sign some new keys and get that verification stuff done. And basically what we were thinking is like, literally we could just do it. And if something goes wrong, the DNS, our DNS services, we can just change it if we get a complaint,
That's great. I mean, I can't, I'm trying to think in recent history of anybody that started a company and had it just pick up the kind of momentum that you have. And nothing comes to mind, man. Nothing.
Well, I mean, we work hard, though. I mean, like, to be fair, though, just so everyone knows, I also work a day job, and I do this, and Life of Money and everything like that. Like literally, like, I am very busy. Like, yeah, I mean,
I had no idea, because you could have fooled me, man. I can't imagine how you're able to juggle all these things.
It's hard. I mean, but I've been, and she's helped immensely on teaching me and getting to force me to have balance in the sense of like, now on Tuesdays, like I don't work like on anything like at all. Like Tuesdays are our day. Like fucking, I don't respond to shit. Don't anything. And the reason why is because
it's the art of doing nothing.
Yes.
Well, that's a super important thing. That kind of leads into, I think, a topic that we could probably talk about for a few minutes, which is burnout, right? Like I don't want to see you burn out. So how other than setting up, what did you call it? What kind of day?
It's the art of doing nothing.
The art of doing nothing. Art of doing nothing day. What else can you do to prevent burnout? Because I got to tell you, all the strategies I've tried just don't work.
Well, I asked him to set a schedule of when he would start working, when he would break, and when he would end. Like the 24/7 thing doesn't work forever. It's good for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets you through a lot when you need to do it. I mean, there's days that I have to go 72 hours straight. But I also plan a day when I'm not going to do that.
Right. That's good. I mean, yeah, that's a long time. So just,
it's like a mini reward. You have to reward yourself for every I guess every accomplishment.
Well, reward yourself with a lack
Yeah.
of doing stuff,
Not
right?
just a day of doing nothing.
Yeah.
A day of, you plan a day, say, okay, like Tuesdays. Tuesday's our day. If it's nice outside, we'll get up, we'll talk, we'll have coffee, we'll linger, and then we'll just say, you know what do you think about doing this? Or you want to go to the lake or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll just do it. We won't plan it out. We went camping at the last minute, like 2 weeks ago. Last minute camping. And then we were having such a good time. Like the next morning when we should have been camping, packing up to come back home to both of our realities, we both were like, you know what, fuck it. What's one more day? So we ended up staying another day just because. And it was like the best 2 days we've had in a while.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
And he can work remotely, and that's the benefit of his job, is he can. So he went in, he chimed in for like a couple hours, but we continued our little mini camping vacay without interruption. So he was productive. I just called my boss and said, I'm not going.
Nice.
Yeah. She was just like, I'm not going. And like, the only thing I had to actually do was like respond to a couple of messages on Slack for hash rate. And then I had literally agreed to do somebody's podcast, which they had asked me a month in advance. And I told them hard yes, I would be there. No problem. And I literally forgot. So the day before the podcast, which we were already camping, we had been out on the water all day and fishing and having a couple of White Claws.
Oh, hold on. And this cost us like a whopping $100 for 2 days of camping.
Yeah, just goofing off. And so I'm sitting there, and this guy reached out to me. He says, "Hey man, we're still on for tomorrow, right? Because I have people who are intently interested." And I'm like, I made a commitment. I'm gonna do it, and I did it. And but while I was doing the podcast, by the way, I'm collecting pine cones for Tinder for a fire.
There you go.
It was rough camping. This was like edge, like primitive camping we did. No RV, no camper. Like we had to go get a foam mattress cover from the Dollar General because the ground was so hard the first night. We was like, okay, we can't do 2 nights of that.
Jeez.
I mean, we're real people, and the thing is like she has encouraged me to be better about taking breaks to prevent my burnout. I've been burnt out before. I can't name that company because, I don't
Doesn't matter. You can't name it.
Yeah. So anyway,
I also tell them stop explaining every little detail sometimes. Sometimes just say I can't say nothing.
Yeah. So anyway, I used to work for this one company, and we worked. We went around the clock pretty much of just teams all over the world, things like that. And as being one of the lead devs, it became this issue of literally working 16-hour days all the time. And so like this past year, like I said, she's really been like, you can't do that. You're not going to do that. This is what I suggest. And I'm taking it and, and because of that, there has been some real strides in my work. Also, I have found that taking breaks, even unplanned day or two, has led to me being much better about my approach architecturally and planning. And I found that like I said, not just with Cypherpunk Labs in the last 2 weeks, but also with like hash rate architectural design for their operating system and stuff. Is not an easy task, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, it's great because she's taught me the art of doing nothing, which I had never done before. She had to get onto me because I was like, and this too, and I'm sure where you're just kind of sitting there, just tapping like, or just kind of like, okay, what's going to be next, right? I've learned to not do that, like just sit.
Well, he had this anxiety. Aura. And it, you know what? People can feel that off other people. When someone's anxious, and I started off in baby steps. Like we just spent the day driving one day, and he's like, "Well, what are we doing?" I said, "Nothing." He's like, "Where are we going?" I was like, "Wherever the hell we want to go." Are you hungry? And And he was like, like halfway through the day, I said, "This is the art of doing nothing. You just get up, you do. You need to eat, you eat. You got to go bathe, you bathe. If it's not required, then who cares?
Yeah.
You know?
Huh.
I mean,
I gotta learn that art someday.
Hey, a lot of hackers have that problem, man. And like I was telling her that I've told her that a lot of people in tech have the issue of not being able to do the art of nothing, like because we're not conditioned to be able to do that, right? Because we always have these deadlines. Our work never ends, you know.
No, and and I think just acknowledging the fact that there is no end to stuff in your life that you have to do. Just acknowledging that fact.
Never end, but you can have a pause, and that's all it is a pause. You have to set the standard for that. The world's not gonna. You're not gonna lose the grip of your reality if you say, "Okay, every other Tuesday, I'm off. I'm offline. I'm offline. I'm off the clock. I'm unavailable to anything that I don't want to be available to." And that's where you. And if people can't respect that, then
it's about boundaries.
And
you will figure out people respect that more from you than they will if you never have a boundary.
I think there's a certain amount. There's a certain amount. It doesn't have to be
every
scarce,
Tuesday
right?
or every 2 days. Set something that works for you. Like I physically, and he could tell you, I physically have to check out once a month. I can go. I've been going since I was 15 years old. I've had 2 and 3 jobs. I've raised 3 children. They're grown now on my own. So I understand go and hustle.
Yeah.
But I have to physically check out once a month for at least a day or 2.
Where we do not like she does
I will lose my mind.
She sits in bed or does
I become
whatever.
the biggest raging bitch you've ever met in your life. And you don't even know what to do. You think stress from your industry is bad? Try dealing with me if I don't get a break. I mean, he was tapping this morning and I almost bit his fucking head off. And I was like, between the dog scratching, you tapping, one of you is about to get knocked the fuck out.
That's great. But I mean, that's the thing.
It literally, but I was just like, and then we get in the car. I said, "I'm sorry." I said, "You didn't deserve that." I said, "But I've got to check out for a day or 2. I said, "Because I'm starting to snap at noises now. That's too much when the simple noise is too much." I do the same thing. I'm taking off for a couple of days. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're going camping.
Nice.
We're out. I have to.
Yeah, and it's always a thing, right? Like, and I've learned now. Like I said, she's taught me a lot, and and I've taken this and I've tried to help other developer friends of mine and stuff understand it, and they're like, I don't get it. I'm like, there are times when you just have to step away, and you may not see it as a value add. But like as you step away, man, like literally in that time when you're not thinking about work, once you start looking at work again, it becomes much easier and clearer. And like literally with regards to like now burning my candle on two startups, one being HashRate and the other one being Cypherpunk Labs. I've definitely seen like this week, like she's saying, we're going to check out for a few days. And that's necessary to be able to continue for it to be successful, and for me not to burn out.
Okay, and just to add or elaborate on boundaries and why that's important, and where someone should know when it's acceptable to lay out boundaries, is first of all, you have to know your worth.
Yeah.
You have to know what you're bringing to the table. And if you have a value to a company on any level, you have to know reasonably you need to set boundaries. Not everybody's replaceable. They all like to make you believe that you're replaceable, but they'll go through 50 hacks before they get someone with Daniel's level.
Yeah.
So if they really want to go through that channel, well, good luck to you. Enjoy your misery while you go through 50 hacks, getting to someone that has this level. So appropriate boundaries aren't going to kill anything. And I've taught him that, I think.
Yes, you have.
Like, appropriate boundaries are good for in every relationship, work, family, personal, everything.
I think they're required, right? Like I've tried it without having boundaries and just letting life come at me, and I'm a ninja. I can definitely handle all this stuff as it comes. I can scale up left and right. No, I was wrong. And I learned that lesson in a very difficult way. And, after the fact, you can reflect on it, but that can cause lasting damage. And I'd rather, people that are listening, that hell, there's probably quite a few that have had the burnout. But for the ones that haven't, if we can get the point across to just a few people that burnout's a real problem, and if you're not careful, you can end up just fucking yourself up to a point that you don't really recover from fully ever. Like, it's permanent.
No, you don't, because that's always now going to be a guideline for every decision you make after that, because you will be the worst critic is yourself. You will find your flaws and punish yourself way worse than anybody could ever be disappointing. And it causes a PTSD in your life without even realizing you did that.
That's a good
So
good
no,
term
you're
for it.
absolutely right. And it causes depression and anxiety, and it's not even worth it. At the end of the day, as long as you got a roof over your head and something to eat, is it really that insanely serious? Like, at some point, you just gotta say, is my personal sanity worth this? Like,
Yeah. And
time
it's
is
not.
expensive.
It never is. Like,
never
unless
is.
you happened to somehow stumble on something that's like a once in a lifetime thing and blah blah blah, which you haven't, by the way. If you're thinking to yourself in the audience, no, but I have this thing that's worth it. It's not.
Sometimes it's worth it for a while.
Yeah,
Everything's
maybe.
a circle. It's meant to last forever anyway. We're all a circle.
Yeah,
Everything has a cycle.
Definitely for money as well. Like, money's temporary. Money's an illusion.
Everything is temporary. Nothing's forever.
Yeah, I agree. But it is nice. I love money.
It's super
Do you guys
healthy.
like money?
Yeah, I love money. Don't get me wrong. That's why I still work.
We should hang out.
His friends thinks it's
Sorry.
crazy that I have a job. He's like, she works. I'm like, yeah, I like money.
I'm obsessed
a fan
with
of it.
making the idiocracy jokes. So
I love money. That's anybody that says I don't like money is lying.
Yeah, exactly.
They're just lying out their ass. Everybody likes money.
Hey, now, Dan, so, it's funny because, like, people are like, oh, you're a deadhead. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm a capitalist. I believe in showers. I believe in making money. I like the music. I like the culture of like the shows and everything. That's all fun. But, like, once it's over, I go home, I shower, and go back to life where, you get back and do everything. I like money. I like making it. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, money is not everything. But Jesus, does it make it easier?
Oh, hell yeah.
No, you just gotta hustle 10 days a week. 10 days a week. And I say 10 days a week. That means you need to work harder in 5 days to where it maxes out 10 days. And then you take 2 days off from time to time. Whether it's every other week, every week, whatever it is. You have to take time off. If to do nothing but to be a couch potato and Netflix and binge, whatever it is that makes you happy at that moment. And it doesn't have to be hiking or joining some god-awful thing like jogging. I mean, it could be whatever brings you joy. Me, joy is sitting swinging in a hammock in the middle of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
That's joy for me.
That sounds good. I mean,
it's amazing. Oh, and when you get the 2 trees that are perfect and everything lines up great, it's like a hammock.
I've never actually been able to find an actual tree that works for me, but somebody that's already set up a hammock that's there for me to take over. Hell yeah, I'm there.
I can send you a link on hammock skills. I'm kidding.
We should definitely do a show on it.
On hammocks. Hacker rehab with hammocks.
Just come down here and go camping with us. We'll teach you everything.
I'm
what
about
to
it.
not do, what to do. I mean, just let your freedom fly.
He'd freak out because he's so used to the San Francisco area, just
Oh,
like being able to
Well,
do.
okay, camping is similar. People are intense.
There's probably just
They're
as
spread
much
out.
smoke.
They're in a whole community, so it's okay. They're cooking over open flames too. Very similar.
Oh man,
A lot
I
of
love
rampant
it.
drug usage.
And there's drinking and possibly drug use. We don't know. We don't smoke weed or anything like that.
No, I mean, drugs are just they're bad for
But I'm just
everything.
saying.
They definitely don't allow
We're not
you to
admitting to
kick
doing
back.
anything illegal across state lines. But
Right.
you
course
know.
Somebody in chat, by the way, wrote something that the crack cocaine is helping. I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean. I can't imagine that they would be serious
Well, I
about
think it
that
all
kind of thing. Twitch,
utilize
please.
how you use it, I suppose. Like not everybody that takes what is it, that stupid legal meth shit? That Adderall.
Oh,
Sorry,
yeah.
I've been smoking, so I'm a little out of it. And we've been doing a benefit all day, so we were supporting a cause, so there was alcohol involved in that.
That's a really good one. Sorry to cut you off, but just before I forget, the benefit, is that still going on, by the way? Is that something we can plug real quick?
Well, we are actually going to do an extension on the benefit because the benefit is for a canine officer that's only 36 years old, has 2 small children, and was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer.
Oof. Yeah, stage 4 is no good.
So, yeah, well, what a lot of people don't understand the concept of insurance. They think of, they hear whatever their congressman or president tells them, and until the reality hits, you don't understand it. Like even with the state insurance, like working for the county, the max benefit payout per year is $75,000. So when you're going through chemo and this and that can run you an easy 100, 200 grand flat, no problem.
Sure.
So I'll be posting tomorrow. Some data like we're gonna start like a thing to help them out. I'm gonna do a tweet storm, some tweets about it. I'll DM you once I have it ready, and if you don't mind promoting, that'd be cool. It'd be much appreciated. Like I said, it's to help somebody who's in need. And
let us stress that yes, he's an officer, and when it is the blue benefit, and we respect the law as it is and the entity it is. And reform, absolutely, we agree. But let's get past that whole fact that this is just a human being.
Yeah,
he's a human being. He's a young man. He's got a wife and 2 kids, and our healthcare system as we know it is garbage. And something like this could bankrupt them, ruin their credit, ruin their lives if he survives it. If he survives it, he'll be in a mountain debt for 10, 15, 20 years. And that shouldn't be something that people of a young age like that should even be dealing with.
It's
is
insane. It really is. The fact that we have a for-profit medical system is mind-blowing.
It is criminal. I agree with this. Now, not to get into a crazy debate like that, because we go
everywhere on the show, so that's fine.
Politics on such things, but don't worry about it. Okay. Well, it's criminal, and it shouldn't be this way at all. We have enough tax revenue. We can move mountains and shift funding to support a better system where people don't fall through the cracks. I'm not saying alienate private healthcare by any means. You want private healthcare, cool. But there should be a system in play like Medicare is for people that retire. It should be for a universal system where we do have some copay and responsibility, but where it needs to be regulated on both ends, not just the insurance, but also the medical industry as we know it. I mean, and I'm going to tell you from personal fact that when I had 2 boys younger that premature that had severe asthma, I would go to Mexico once a year just to get a year's prescription over there for the same medication that their insurance would not cover. And I couldn't afford $900 a month per child just in inhalers and nebulizers.
and you're talking about inhalers and nebulizers, which are that's life and death, right?
Yes, exactly. It was life and death.
I complain
that was
about
insane.
my stuff, which is, you know, I take ketamine for depression stuff, and can I live without that? Yeah. It's not covered by insurance. I pay a lot of money for it. However, when you're talking about nebulizers and stuff,
Medicine for
that's
profit,
insane.
and that's wrong. Regardless if it's for life or death, should not even be the issue.
That's true.
If anything kind of medication is beneficial to your productive lifespan, then you shouldn't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
You know what it costs me for my children, for 2 children, for a year supply for both of them was $280 for a
over in
whole
Canada,
year worth in Mexico.
Oh, okay.
I used to
Good.
call it a vacation and come back with their medication.
Yeah, I mean,
And-
it's
but
perfectly
on the
legal
script,
as long as you're
It's
doing it
perfectly
within
legal.
the
It's
boundaries.
not a
Look it
narcotic.
up.
You can go right over to Mexico and get it. You don't even got to see a doctor for it. If you have an original prescription,
Mhm.
they'll take it.
Yeah.
It's not the same guidelines. And everybody warned me, oh, that's dangerous. Well, that's crazy because their pediatrician knew all about it.
Right.
And
yeah.
she's the one that told me about it to start with.
If you get a good doctor, which you're, you know, it sounds like you have a good one, so that's awesome. I consider myself lucky to have a good doctor as well. They will tell you the little things that you can do. I'm more near the Mexican border myself at the moment, but when I was up near Canada, Canada was the place that everybody would go. And legally
absolutely.
speaking,
And I know that as well.
legally speaking, you're not breaking any laws, smuggling laws or anything like that, unless you do excessive amounts. And to that end, I would suggest to anybody listening, do your homework.
Get a lawyer.
Yeah. Shut the fuck
Do
up
your
and
homework.
get a lawyer.
Exactly. Absolutely. Do your homework.
Yeah.
Even if you're confused about your homework, consult a friend of attorneys or whatever.
Agreed.
You know, luckily I have several lawyers on my family side. So anytime I had questions, I did. And they tell, as long as it's not a narcotic, you're not breaking any laws.
Yeah,
now, if
even
it's
if
considered
it's
a
narcotic, though,
if it's a narcotic here, then you have to see a doctor in another country and get a prescription there.
Yes.
In order to even use that.
But as long as you have
if you
a
don't know that, like
prescription,
homework goes a long way.
Yeah, for sure. But just
Well-
to be safe, make sure you have that chat, and you'll be good. And it's
Absolutely.
worth it.
And
It's
you know
totally
what?
worth it.
You're not breaking any laws by having a conversation about it.
No,
Knowledge is power. Without it, you're useless.
that's right. And I mean, I don't know if my disclaimer video makes it clear that we're all playing characters and this is not based in any truth
Absolutely,
or reality. But if it didn't say it, it's true. And this show is not based in any kind of reality or anything like that. Any coincidences, like people's
series of
names,
coincidences.
places, events, those are all coincidences.
Of unfortunate and unrelatable events.
That's right. That is right.
So let's do a highlight so far since I jumped in when you were talking about Diebold. You went from talking about Tor, anonymity, darknet markets, to prescription drug, to police forces, to the art of doing nothing.
You're welcome.
Yes, thank you, baby. You're the best. And
Thanks.
yeah.
It's the beauty of Hacker Rehab. We have a massive case of ADD as a show, and we'll go anywhere. I don't care what the fuck we talk about, as long as it's something interesting and something that is on people's minds. It doesn't have to be hacking related. It can be about anything. And I think this is probably one of the best episodes so far that demonstrates that.
Well, everything's about hacking, really. Like, think about it, man. Like, political stuff, everything, software is politics. Like, everything that we do is about the political movement, whether it's the politics of an office or politics between two people or organizations. I mean, even what, like I said, the politics of the Tor network is what inspired us to start Cypherpunk Labs and the exit, and our flows and everything like that. Like literally, that was our inspiration, was the politics in a network. You know what I mean? Like, and so when you break that down, everything is software and hacking related, whether it be physical or not, all of it's some form of politics or some type of influences based on politics between two varying structures or whatever. I mean, it's just the way it is. I mean, you know, it's not like the days of old where we used to be able to go do phone freaking like we used to, but you know, now things are a lot different. But
I miss it. Miss it so much, man. Freaking was I was a phone freak. I wasn't a hacker. I eventually moved into hacking because, like you said, it went away. But freaking was that was my jam, man. Optivert through a few different operators, make them lose who you are, and have them ask you what phone number you're calling from. Well, I'm calling from my enemy's phone number, and I'd like to call Puerto Rico for 8 hours.
Her name is Amanda Bowman.
Oh man. So getting back kind of into the hacking stuff for a second, Elon Musk and that brain fucking Neuralink. What do you guys think about that?
What that? Okay. No, honestly, in his defense, he tried to tell me about it when I only had my first cup of coffee the other day. I need 3 cups of coffees to understand anybody's verbiage at all. So he got into it, and I just looked at him with this dumb look. I said, "What the hell happened to whose brain?" I said, "Explain to me what Elon Musk did to somebody's brain with a chip, please," because I didn't catch all that story. I had to go to work that day.
I mean, I don't actually really know too much about it either. I know that he put some kind of chip in a pig's brain, and I'm talking about the animal, not an officer. But anyways, yeah.
I mean, I thought it was a human when he said it, and I was like, how much money did he get?
Jeez,
I mean, man. I might sign up for this. It depends. Bottom line, what's our dollar amount?
So for the human trials, yeah, he's made some comments about it for almost a year now, I'd say. Because on Joe Rogan, he made the comment that the biggest bottleneck between people and computers these days is not anything other than our fingers and our ability to transmit the data from our brains and our thoughts to the machine, right? Like we have gigabit internet, we have all these fast networks, but the fingers and the keyboard.
Now, maybe I may come across as slightly, and you know what, and like I said before, this is really not my field of anything, what Daniel does. And the things he's taught me is we teach each other a lot. He tries to teach me. I try to listen. I do, honestly. But the whole purpose of the human brain is we are the one microchip that can't be
simulated correctly.
Simulated. Exactly. That was a good word there. Simulated. So the whole pig and the chip thing, I don't understand the concept. Like, we already know our brain. We know it's been proven that our brain can even repair us.
Yeah. I wish I knew more about it. And this is where, being unprofessional and not doing show prep comes in. I have no fucking idea how it works. But I know that there was something.
So
maybe, do you know how it works?
Daniel can tell you about it.
So basically the neural is supposed to be able to take thoughts and being able to transform them or to be able to display them in such a way that they can be transferred to a computer. And the link is supposed to be able to and the end goal is supposed to be able to make software and things like that, development and the processes and dealing with stressors, PTSD analyzation, all of those kind of things to be easier to decipher, right? Uh-huh. Because if for someone who has PTSD, they go to a therapist, the therapist is going to go through several sessions to unlock someone's confidence to disclose certain things, right? And in this way, the brain, subconscious, and certain elements of thought process and firing of the neurons are supposed to be able to give some data. And that's cool, but I also want to point out that there are some problems with that because the interface is still software, okay? Yeah. And that software is written by humans. And I'm going to go back to C95 and I'm gonna say this, you probably know this. Software, oftentimes people have in their head that it's beautiful and that it's perfect. I mean, for years, C floating points 2.0 or 2.0 plus 2.0 would equal 5. Okay, like that should tell people enough that all they needed to know. And literally, even today, like you take a look at certain things with like memory overflows or buffer overruns, things like that. Like we're still trying to figure out how to do good process or software development as a process today, right? Memory safety is not even there. So what happens when you have a Neuralink that's running, gathering data and information, and say, for example, there's a race condition? What's going to happen then? You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like what happens when the thread goes, fuck it, we're going 100 or nothing, right? What's going to happen to the person or to the creature with the link? You see what I'm saying? Like there are consequences.
That's
You know
what's
what I
happening.
like about Elon?
Dead.
You know what I like about Elon?
What's that?
I make money on my stocks in Elon Musk. That's
Well,
all I need to know is he makes money. But where Elon Musk is getting ahead of himself on this one is that eventually he's going to cross the line.
Right.
And what every ego forgets is that it only takes upsetting just enough people to ruin your life. Everybody can start selling our stocks real fast, and then all Elon's going to have is a pig and an ugly. All Elon's going to have is a pig. Okay.
I love that. I used to be a pretty heavy investor in Tesla, and I didn't sell my stock. I'll be honest about it. I didn't sell my stock for any ethical reason. I sold my stock when he himself was like, the stock's too high, something's up. I agree with that. I think there is something going on, and I don't know what the hell it is, but there's some kind of long game happening manipulation-wise with Tesla.
Absolutely. That's why I check it every day.
But also you have to remember that Tesla...
I do my homework on that one.
Tesla is only being supported for a large amount of its market cap and value from government subsidies. And a lot of people don't understand that. Like,
I do.
Yeah. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about like the majority of the masses.
Money. I understand money.
Yeah. But a lot of people don't, like, and that's the problem, right? Like even now, like the investment model and the amount of people who are blindly investing in stuff, and I'm gonna hit on something right now, and I'm sure you've seen it, Dan. Like people jump on these trends because something's going up. I mean, hell, I don't know if you saw 3 weeks ago the DeFi explosion with like this fucking coin called Yams that went from 0 to $500 million market cap in like 3 days.
3 days.
And then it disappeared because of a bug.
Oh no. Yeah, that's so crazy. No, that's hilarious. Did like who made money in that though, or did everybody lose money? Except for
most people lost money except for the devs, because there was a bug in the smart contract that someone executed, and they pushed an unaudited piece of code and it fucked up.
Jesus.
But I mean, crazy. Like now, dude, like I mean, it's like this all over the place. Take a look at Robinhood investors in the stock market, right? Robinhood is like, there's a fine line between simplifying, like going back to even what we're doing. Yeah. Simplifying too much can create dangerous problems.
Well, I think that's a good comparison, right? Because you're not doing what Robinhood does, and for anybody unfamiliar, Robinhood essentially just takes E-Trade and somehow makes it easier to lose all of your fucking money, your real money, in the stock market. The difference, I would say, the biggest difference between that and what you're doing is you're maintaining control over the important parts. And some people, the true geeks probably don't like that. And for them, though, it's well within their ability to spin up a Tor node for themselves, and Godspeed. But for the everyday person, or even people that are like, they like the tech and like being a geek, but they don't quite know how to safely build an exit, you're the one providing it and you're the one providing the important parts. And I think that's
Well,
what's
that's
awesome
what
about
Robinhood
it.
was doing with trading, though. And I appreciate the compliments, by the way. But like, look at what Robinhood was doing with trading, right? Like, that's what their goal was to make it where anyone could trade. And
Yeah.
the problem is, like, I'll be honest with you, most people don't understand the concepts of like how liquidity works, nonetheless, like how trading day actually functions, or what option is, or anything like that. Like, so there are certain things that you have to like go, is there a way to keep it out of their reach, so to speak? Because
Yeah.
maybe you can do more harm than good. I mean, like, it's like a kid finding his dad's gun that's loaded, right? I mean, except it's
Yeah.
their bank or their wallet that's impacted, right? So like, they just turn around shooting shit. Next thing you know, they're like, hey, this was all fun, and oh wow, I have $38,000 in debt now because I was firing off on these trades and not understanding it.
Yeah, because they're offering margin trading now,
Well,
which when I first started out with Robinhood, it was like, it was just straight vanilla trading. Which, is there a big problem with that? No. But when you start getting into margin trading and like allowing people to leverage 20, 30 grand, which I just looked at my margins, and yeah, I can easily just fucking put myself into 5-digit debt, and that's not cool at all. That's really bad.
That's horrible finances.
Yeah, it really
yeah, but
is.
see, that's the thing, right? You have to find the fine line of what to allow people to do. I mean, even this week, the SEC changed the regulations on what an accredited investor is, right? I mean,
Oh, I
they're
didn't know
changing
that.
how that works. Oh, yeah, that was a big thing. It was announced on, what was it, Tuesday? Yeah, so basically you can, instead of now having to have the money in the bank or make a certain amount every year, you can now literally take a test and become an accredited investor.
Sounds like a fun game.
Yeah, a fun game. I could not agree more. A fun game. And you just start
Like,
crying.
everybody's losing their ass, man. I mean, but like the problem is that you know as well as I do, working in startups, private equity is a huge thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
everybody wants to get in on the ground level of a startup, equitable pieces. And unless you have, was it 250 grand or was it 2 million? No, it was 2 million, or you make 250 grand a year. You can't be a accredited investor to even buy in at a pre-IPO buys. Like, you can't.
What?
Like, you're for both.
Oh, is
Yeah,
this
there
the
are
changes
laws.
that you're talking about?
Yeah, so now they've removed those. They've changed those stipulations now. Now you can just take a test and verify you understand the identification of basically whether or not it's a Ponzi scheme.
Oh,
And
no.
yeah.
Oh,
So
that's a
again,
problem.
oh, dude, we could do a whole conversation about people buying into that.
We should
shit.
sometime. We should do a finance show one of these days. But yeah, that sounds like a ball of yarn right there, man. Yikes.
Oh, it is. I mean, but like, so is DeFi in the cryptocurrency market right now, right? You got Tendies, you got Tard, you got Tism. I mean, like, you have an autistic.finance. Like, if you want to see a fucked up website, go to autistic.finance. Like, seriously.
Is it gonna get me in trouble on my stream? Here, let me do this.
No. Autistic.finance.
Autistic dot what? Finance?
Finance, yeah. It's a new TLD.
Love it.
That's so good, Smith.
Oh, that's perfect.
I just love that one.
That's excellent. Oh wow, I like their background. I'm gonna steal that.
I know, right?
Scroll down. You gotta look at the rest of it, like things
I'm
they're
afraid.
great at.
Oh god, is it an actual thing? Like, can you?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
it's a coin.
Coin.
A few things we're great at. Being gay, puzzles, racism, and other stuff. That sounds like me. Good lord, this is funny. This is for anybody who's not getting the joke. This is what we call satire. None of these
Yes,
people
it
exist
is.
except me. This is meant as a joke. Don't get all fucking autistic on
Yeah.
me.
So there's also attendees coin now, by the way.
Yeah.
Like chicken tenders, like quite literally. yeah, attendees. We're
I
looking
love
at so it didn't exist 3 months ago. Matter of fact, they don't even have chart data for like the week. It is up 13%. It's worth $1.17. The market volume last 24 hours is $840,000. It's just chicken tenders. Like
That's amazing, dude.
but
I
because
like that
they're-
it says "Stay Poor" at the top. That's amazing.
Hey, the autism one, dude, they're legit. Let's take a look at Yam real quick. Oh, there's a Yam V2 now.
Yeah, I wasn't sure
Yam
what you meant by that.
so go to
YamV2.com.
coinmarketcap.com and look at like YAM Yam. Like Yam is where you can farm APY. Literally, you go to their website, yam.finance, it tells you that there are no audits. We strongly urge you to use caution when engaging with the contracts.
That's
Like-
great. Coinmarketcap.com, right? All right.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can find
I'm looking
it.
at Yam V2 right now. I'm curious about V2. I've never seen. Wow, Yam V2, $20.60 fucking cents, and it also is just the same
fuck?
fucking page.
See, this is the thing that I don't understand, right? Like how does all this stuff work? And that's got to be rhetorical for the moment, because actually we got to wrap pretty soon. We're a couple minutes.
Yeah,
late.
definitely, because it's late here, and we gotta we got.
I blame it on city water.
There's something to that. Did you know California is the only state in the USA that requires testing of water? The only state.
Wow.
That's bad.
Well, all the water in California from the tap sucks ass anyway.
Hey,
Well, yeah, it
that
doesn't
water
mean it's safe.
stinks.
It just means we test it to verify that it's shit.
That water smells so bad. I wouldn't drink it if somebody gave me money to.
Yeah. Well, Elon Musk may.
I was afraid to bathe in it.
Yeah. I
Good Lord.
appreciate the hell out of you guys coming on and
Thanks for having us.
chatting with me. I can't thank you enough, and also thank you so much for what you're doing for the community in general, as it relates to like just Cypherpunk Labs and getting people to contribute to the Tor network, even if they don't have the exact technical skills to. That's commendable, man. So hats off to both of you.
All right.
On that note,
well,
I'm going to let you guys go.
Thanks for having us on.
Absolutely.
It was a blast. We had good laughs. And like I said, man, that I'm calling it shit-fi, but they call it DeFi. But like literally that whole thing, you want to talk about 2017's ICO explosion. Now people are fucking doing worse shit with no front, no nothing.
Yeah.
It's just all fucking crazy.
I want to talk to you about that one of these days. So let's talk offline. Try and get something set up. Maybe it doesn't even have to be on a Saturday show, but just having a conversation about shit coins and whatnot. I know a little bit about them, but I know you know way more, and I think you could get into some of the detail that I've always wondered about, and probably a lot of people on the stream actually wonder about.
Yeah, sure thing. I mean, like we'll schedule it, but we're gonna go ahead and get off and let you wrap up and everying, man. And thanks for having us. And
thank you so
like
much,
I said,
both
dude,
of you.
you're welcome, man. I saw you on there, and just we all had a good time. I know Monty had a good time. We had some laughs. Everybody was good times.
Yeah, it's awesome. All right, we'll talk to you both another time soon, hopefully.
All right, man.
All
Well,
right,
take
bye.
care.
Take
Have
care.
a great night.
Peace.
Bye.
That, ladies and gentlemen, was Nixops, as well as. Hang on, let me close this out. Got a bunch of windows open here. Thank you, Notbear. I appreciate that. That was a great interview. I can't take credit for it, obviously, because it wasn't me being awesome. It was It was both of our friends there from Cypherpunk Labs. Truly two really good people that I can't wait to have on again, to be blunt. I think they both have a great sense of humor, and you know, they're able to put things in real words. You know, there's no fakeness there. There's no. I'm not a fan of the fake shit, and that was not fake. So, on that note, I'm gonna play you guys out with some little bit of music. But yeah, huge shouts to Cypherpunk Labs. If you have a little bit of spare change, you want to set up an exit relay node, $10 a month, give them a hand. The dojo node I'm still interested in. $35 a month's a little bit high for me to dump into without understanding it. But once I understand it, I may actually do it. Because dojo and samurai, if you want to be able to mix Bitcoin without knowing that much about it, check it out. Like Samurai Wallet and Whirlpool is the mixers. There's no minimums, so it's nice and easy, nice and cheap to get that shit done. And then of course you should definitely transfer it into Monero, because as Dark.Fail mentioned, use Monero or go to jail. On that note, I'm gonna bounce Standard Air, No Self, Not Bear, Hex Editing, all of you, every single one of you on the stream that contributes every week. I love y'all. Thank you so much for watching, putting up with my rambling. We'll catch you next week. Things should be back to normal. Peace.
I wake up from a nightmare. I can't take it. Loud, clear, vibrant, pressure. Loud, clear, hard, pressure. Loud, clear, vibrant, pressure. Loud, clear, hard, I can't take this pressure. 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 Pressure.
Join AAA with automatic renewal and add loved ones for